What's up, YouTube? Overwatch just got its first balance patch after release, and we're going to go over what happened. First up, they've been talking about nerfing McCree for a little while now, and the McCree changes, as you can see here, his Peacekeeper, his alternate fire for it, the recovery time has been decreased from 0.75 seconds to 0.03, and his bullet damage was decreased from 70 to 45. Now what this means is basically that when he gets a tank stunned and he unloads a bunch of shots into the tank is probably going to live. You still could do a lot of damage with this, because 45 damage times 6 is what, 270? 270, you then roll backwards and hit him again with another fan the hammer, and you're doing 540 damage. So over 500 damage in still a stunned target that's not able to move. Tanks are also really huge and hard to miss. You're still going to be able to drop tanks pretty easily, but it's a nice thing to have in case the McCree didn't have like all of the shots hitting you. If you were a squishier character, this doesn't even affect you. Most characters sitting around 200 hit points or less are still going to die from a single stun fan the hammer. So this includes tracers and stuff. So you're not really worrying too much about that. It's basically just designed so that if he catches a tank, he's not going to kill that tank in a single fan the hammer. The second fan the hammer, though, which comes out in like a second as well, is still probably going to kill you. McCrees aren't really worried too much about this. The other big change this patch was like against Widowmaker. Widowmaker had her base damage from her shots decreased by 3 damage from 15 to 12. This basically means that once you take the multiplier in, you're doing 120 damage shots if you don't get a headshot. So characters such as Tracer and Zenyatta are both going to be able to survive body shots from a Widowmaker. Now the second shot is likely to kill you, so Zenyatta's are still going to die pretty quick because they're going to get the first shot, boom, second shot, done. The Tracers, on the other hand, a good Tracer now is going to be able to get shot once, and they're much harder to hit than Zenyatta's. So one of the best Tracer counters is actually removed from the game with this change. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more Tracer in the upcoming weeks. Now, Widowmaker saw a couple other changes as well. One of them is an animation change. Now, what this animation change does that some players might not be aware of is in games like Counter-Strike Go, what you would do is you would zoom in, shoot, unzoom, and rezoom. And what that gave you is it gives you the mobility of being unzoomed for just that split second. Gives you a little bit of extra mobility, and it also gives you situational awareness. It lets you see outside of where you were zooming in. So if someone was coming up on your flanks, because you shot unzoomed, you take a quick peek around, rezoom back in to get the next shot. You're able to see if there was anything else you needed to gather. So this is going to give Widowmakers more tunnel vision, I guess is the correct word for it. You're basically going to be looking at your target, and you have to stay zoomed in if you want to try and hit that target again. It's not too big of a change for most players, but for a lot of Counter-Strike Go players and a lot of professional players that used every advantage they could get, this is going to be a nice little nerf to Widowmaker. The last Widowmaker change was that her ultimate now gains 10% slower. Widowmaker's ult comes up pretty quick, so this isn't too big of a change, and it did have a really nice effect. It's not too big of a deal. You're still going to be able to see through walls all the time, especially with Hanzo's running around. So, not too much on that one, but it's interesting that they chose to go that route. Two more changes that they have in here listed under miscellaneous bug fixes. Mercy was able to gain ultimate charge when damaging ice walls, or damage boosting a character who was damaging an ice wall or a Reinhardt shield. What this allowed basically was if you were damage boosting a Bastion and that Bastion was shooting a Mei ice wall, what would happen is you would get full ultimate charge just from that. So they're basically trying to make it so that Mercy doesn't have her ult all the time. But really, Mercy's ultimate charge is so fast, I don't even think she's going to notice this. Most Mercy players won't even notice it at all because most characters weren't just shooting those damage shields and ice walls wall boosted anyways. And the last change that they have listed is they fixed a bug that allowed Reaper to shadow step to unintended locations on certain maps. Basically, I knew of a couple of these where Reaper could teleport outside of his spawn at the start of the map, maybe get over to the enemy spawn quicker and shoot people or something stupid like that. No one really abused that version. The one that I saw that people tended to abuse every now and then was the one on Temple of Anubis. If you teleported into the ceiling, you could then run around outside of the map and then jump down into the pillar that's on the point, point B. What this allowed was basically for the Reaper to eternally contest that point. So if you were on offense and the enemy team had a Reaper that was doing that, you could never win the game because he was always in there and you couldn't kill him unless you knew of the exploit as well and then you used it to go kill him somehow. But really, it's just a small bug change that only saw exploitation a couple times. Most people tended to avoid it. I think a lot of people don't want to lose their accounts and get banned for stupid shit like that, so they're not bothering with it. But glad to see that changed as well. Overall, though, pretty small patch, just a couple changes. Not the big patch that we're supposed to be getting in another couple weeks. It's going to add the competitive mode. We'll make another video when that happens, but for now, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. I thought you were dead, not just moved along the side. Bang.
I'm just over here playing Super Mario Sunshine.
Mario Sunshine? That game's fucking awesome.
I'm cleaning up all this fucking dirt.
Thanks. 30 seconds.
Ow. Making me grab all these HPs and shit. Boom, 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 boom.
Did that 10 seconds? Time is running out.
Lol. Oh my god, I got it! I got the achievement. Oh. Smooth as silk.